It all started when I sat at the kitchen table and I was going to practice writing a short story. I sat down and I said, okay, I'm going to pick my favorite genre, which is the zombie genre. I'm going to put a guy on a hill. And again, this is practice. It's not a complex story. It's not a movie. It's not, multiple characters. I'm just going to write a quick short story. It doesn't even need to have a beginning, middle, and end. It's just a quick piece of someone's life. So I said, okay, here's a guy sitting on a hill. He has a gun in his hand. He has a clip in the other. The bottom of the hill is all woods around him, and zombies are coming out of the woods. He's counting the bullets out of the clip as they fall into the grass. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then he picks up the bullets, loads them back into the clip, loads the clip into the gun, stands up. The zombies are getting closer with every second that goes by. And the look on this guy's face is just full of sadness, anger, and most importantly, you can tell he's given up. So he walks closer to get a headshot off the closest zombie, shoots that one, and he counts. 1, shoots the other one. 2, shoots a third. 3, and he continues. 4, 5, 6, 7. He stops. The zombies are closer now. Maybe one can lunge and get him. The one in front of him is close enough, puts the gun to his head, closes his eyes, takes his last breath, and then he pulls the trigger. Click. Nothing. He opens his eyes. There's a zombie's teeth right there about to bite his face off. He falls back with the zombie onto the ground, looks over, and in the grass, glimmering in the sunlight, is the bullet he forgot to load. That was it. That was the practice short story. That was something I thought I would write and throw away. That would be it. But something happened. I kept that like one-page short story. It was like the idea shoebox, something like that, but it was just a binder. That story stayed with me for days and weeks and months. I couldn't get it out of my head. What brought the guy there to the hill? Like, what happened in his life emotionally and physically that brought him to that place to want to kill himself surrounded by zombies? Like, at what point was he like, okay, I give up. This is it. It's over. This is done. So I started writing the story from that point on, and then I started getting the idea that I wanted to make movies that were different genres that branched out from this zombie epic. Essentially, it would be an adventure story. And I remember publishing the first part to this adventure story in my school newsletter, and it was just an adventure, and it was dark. It was like Indiana Jones, but dark. He was obsessed with finding the Fountain of Youth. And what ended up happening is the Fountain of Youth was the origin story for the zombie virus. And the way I thought about it back then is that the audience wouldn't even know it's connected, Maybe hardcore fans of the zombie epic, they would know. It'd be like an Easter egg. So then I thought, man, I could make a couple different genre movies, and it would all take place in this one universe. The mystery one was something that I thought was awesome. I loved it. It had to do with a neighborhood, and in that neighborhood was a family, and in that family were 2 curious kids in the family, where they lived inside this huge city that was walled in and protected from the outside. Now, on the outside was a virus that happened years ago, and it turned people crazy, it made them kill each other, and it made them hungry for human flesh. Well, that's the reality of where they live right now, right? But the conspiracy theorists in their neighborhood, in their area, said that that's only partly true. The reality is they used that virus to herd all the poor people and all the problem people and whoever they wanted into these mini cities all over America. Let's say there's 17 mini cities in America. The theory was that this freed up the congested cities. It stopped all the looting and the rioting and the problems and the race wars, and it kept the rest of the world free of the poor people, the problem people. And the rich people can govern as they see fit. They can do whatever they want. It's paradise out there for them. The cities aren't as congested. There's not as much crime. There's not as much bullshit. The evidence is so good, it convinces the family and a couple members of the neighborhood to risk it all to escape out of this mundane, extra cramped. Everyone has living quarters that's just like a box in these buildings, and you get rations for food. There's surveillance everywhere. They know every move you make. I mean, it's a shitty place to live. Is the grass greener on the other side? So they try to flee, and they all die except for the two kids, the 12-year-old and the 15-year-old. Now, once they get out of this city, they run into the cliche post-apocalyptic bum. And this bum has a blanket over him. He's all dirty, scruffy, has some homemade moonshine in his hand. And he's so high and drunk that he thinks they might even be a hallucination. And he plays along with it because he could wake up tomorrow and he could be alone again. So the kids are telling him about this futuristic mini city they lived in for years, grew up in, and yada, yada, yada. This old bum hasn't heard of or seen of anything like that since, the real world was wiped out with this virus years ago. And he is a bit comedic, he's a bit theatrical, and he opens his arms and he says, "Welcome to the Doomsday Kingdom, where the dead rule as kings over the land." And that's what brought us here today, years and years and years later. An idiot kid in junior high who had a lot of love and a lot of passion for zombie stories sat down to just practice writing and ended up writing something that would stick with him for all these years and slowly get developed into a completely different zombie story. And that brings us to Doomsday Kingdom, issue number 1, The Feeding Post, which is going to come out very, very soon. If you want it in digital, you don't have to do anything. Just stay tuned and keep your eye out for the updates. But if you do want a physical colored release of issue number 1, I'm going to need you to do me a huge favor. You can find a link down below for the MailChimp. It's a mailing list where you can go and basically just say yes. You're not buying anything. You're not saying you're going to buy anything. There's no credit card, no nothing like that. You just basically have to click yes, you want a physical copy. This gives us an idea of how many we need to make so we can get a better estimate when we are going to get them printed out. We start shopping around. I believe there's a UK tab and then there is a United States and other tab. We don't need to know the specifics yet. We just need to know a general idea of the numbers. So if you could do us a huge favor, if you are interested, it'll help us out in a very, very, very big way. And I also wanted to show this off. I'm going to do a map mail video that shows off some artwork from Doomsday Kingdom. Now this is page 12. And this was just purchased to help fund issue number 1 and the art. Now, I am not dealing with the art or selling the original pages, and that's what this is, and that's why it's so big. This is the original page that the artist drew up for Doomsday Kingdom, page 12, which was previously known as Dead Living. If you are interested in the original art or sketches or prints, we're going to have options open for sketches and prints and fun stuff like that. But if you're interested in the original art, you got to see James Milne. Now, he signed this, and I'm going to sign this and ship it over to the person who bought the page. But if you want that as an option, just have some patience. Contact Jim. Jim is the one for art. I want to make that real clear because I had a couple people that saw him post this, and then they said, "Oh, why didn't you announce it on your YouTube page?" I don't handle this art. That's for Jim because I can't pay him what he deserves, for right now. So if you guys can help him out, if you want to support the comic and support the artist, go ahead and shoot him a message. I'm going to leave his links down in that video description. And I will follow this up with an official update when the issue is done being colored and we are this much closer to actually releasing it. You guys leave your thoughts and opinions down in that comment box, and I just have to say a massive thank you. You guys have been supportive and patient as hell, and me and James both thank you guys a ton. We couldn't do this without you. So truly, from the bottom of my heart, thank you, and I'll love you long time.